What's up guys, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. We are back going after the international break. Game week 3, Roma Torino, back at the stadium this weekend. I am so gassed, I'm so excited. Match day vlogs are gonna be back, prepare, it's gonna be a big season. But yeah, big chance guys, big chance to go 3 for 3. Big chance to maybe go top of the league and top of the table by yourself after 3 game weeks. Not that it counts much, but you know, Napoli are playing Fiorentina, Juventus are playing Inter, and Cremonese, yes, fair play to them, what an amazing start, but you know, Cremonese are Cremonese, so it's a good chance, and again, I'm not looking at the league table after 3 game weeks, but you need to exploit these chances and get as many points on teams like Juventus, Inter, Napoli. So these are the games that we must win. These are the games that under Claudio Ranieri we were amazing at winning. Now we've got a new manager. Now the rhythm has been interrupted by this international break. You know, it's always the start of a new journey. So is this a trap game? Is this a game, you know, coming before the derby, which is next weekend? Can this be a trap game? Because I ain't gonna lie, there is a risk that this is a trap game. And there were times, even at Atalanta, where Gasperini was doing exceptionally well, and then the game that you expect Atalanta to win, he kind of fell in the trap. He fell in this black hole and didn't get the 3 points. I think I'm confident about Sunday's game. I think everything around Roma right now is working perfectly. I really don't want to jinx this. So take what I just said with caution. But I feel excited. I don't know what it is. Definitely it's the fact that we're back going after the international break, and it's definitely the fact that we've started very well with full points after 2 game weeks, which is still very early. But I don't know. I really don't know how to explain this. But even throughout this summer, I had a gut feeling that this was gonna be our season. Not winning the league, but that we would have done a very good season. And I think to confirm these gut feelings, you need to win these games. It is vital for you to win these games in order to don't have regrets at the end of the season. These are the games where not only you need to win, but as I always say, I don't care how you win as long as you win. You know, that Bologna game, first game of the season, 1-0. Was it a spectacular performance? I think many things worked very well. On a technical point of view, was it a perfect performance? No, it wasn't. We scored a scrappy goal because Lukumi passed it to Wesley, who kind of semi-chipped it. It wasn't a technically gifted performance, but it was a pragmatic performance. It was an efficient performance. And these are the teams that in order to beat, you need to be pragmatic. You don't have to be perfect. You need to be pragmatic. And I think I'm confident. I'm confident for Sunday's game. I think there's a really good atmosphere around Roma right now. We've gone through terrible moments together. We really have. Last season, you will remember it better than me. I tend to want to forget in the first 3 months of last season, but sometimes I just get TikToks and results on my phone, and sometimes I look at past live streams, and the situation was drastic, and I truly think that now I smell a different air around Roma. Of course, because what happened at the start of last season is incomparable. But is it only me? I sense positive vibes. I think the players really want to get in the heads of this manager, and this manager really wants to get in the heads of these players. And I think with this virtuous cycle, it will bring success. So, yeah. Look, the fact that it can be a trap game, the reason it can be a trap game is because Torino started very bad. They've probably started as the worst team in the league, but they aren't. I don't want to disrespect Cremonese because they started really well, but they aren't Empoli. You know what I mean? Like, you always have to be cautious because they are a well-organized side, even though they started very bad. We need to win this game. We're better than them, of course. These are points that you need to put on one side. But to be rational, Torino's a mid-table team. So, as I said before, you need to be pragmatic in order to beat them. Little thoughts on them, and then I'll move on to us, predict 11, and then I'm going to read a few comments. I think Torino lost quality, but recuperated some quality. I think one of their best players was Ricci, who they lost to Milan this summer. But they've added, and they also lost Milinkovic-Savic in goal, which people tend to underlook. He was a very good goalkeeper, and he saved them many times, kept a lot of clean sheets, all because of him, because Torino's defense is shambolic. So they lost two big, heavy pieces. Of course, Zapata is their best player. He still isn't fit to start. I think he will have a few minutes in this game. I don't think he will start. But, up until he broke that ACL last season against Inter, Zapata is a big threat. Every time he plays against us, he turns against a beast. He turns against Prime or 9 against us. So, but Zapata shouldn't be starting this game. He might have the last 10 minutes just to get those minutes back in, but he shouldn't be starting. I think they've lost quality, but they've also replaced with interesting players that can change the equilibrium of their system. Not that I'm a massive fan of them, but Ngonge and Simeone from Napoli are players that can work well in a Torino team. Add them to Che Adams, who had a pretty good season last season. Again, I don't want to talk about individualism because this isn't individualism, but they are interesting pieces that they've added to this puzzle to kind of match with the players that they lost. Of course, they changed manager, Baroni. This is like a mini derby for Baroni. I don't understand why they sacked Vanoli, to be honest with you. Torino's owner is another lunatic, adding to the list of lunatic owners. He really is another lunatic. I think Vanoli was a good manager, in fact, I think he overachieved with the team Torino had last season. So I don't understand why they sacked him to get a manager which is basically like Vanoli. But yeah, problem with Torino is their defense, which is a good point for us because their defense is terrible. They conceded, 7 goals in 2 games, if I'm not wrong? I might be wrong on this. They definitely conceded 5 in the first game week against Torino. And then the second game was 0-0 against Fiorentina. Yeah, they conceded 5 goals in 2 games though, all against Inter, and scored 0. So up to now, terrible goal difference for them, which is the reason why they're 19th. Because, they've got a very bad goal difference as of now. It's not an amazing team. We should be beating them. Let's face reality once and for all. Moving on to us. The only issue and risk I can see in this game, there's only one. Really, there's only one. I think we're going to win. You want my exact score? 2-0 to us. And you want another precision? Ferguson scores. I can see a few different scenarios tomorrow. Either a closed game and we win it like in the 90th minute, or 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half, and Ferguson scores one of the two. I can see a scenario where Ferguson scores his first goal tomorrow, especially because he's coming from a great international break, scored 2 for 2 in both the Irish games. The only thing that can alter our result tomorrow is the interruption because of the international break. Had this game been played last weekend, immediately after a win against Bologna and Pisa, with the momentum of a system which is working well from the very beginning, I would have even more confidently said that we were going to win this. I'm confident we're going to win 100%. But, it's already the start of the season. It already takes a while to get the mechanism going. Having a very early international break kills the momentum even more. A few players are coming back, like, for instance, Wesley, I don't think will start because it's nothing major, but he had a little concussion on his knee. Plus, add the fact that he arrived yesterday back from Brazil, the jet lag and everything. These are elements to consider. Not that they're going to make a big difference, but, jet lag, players coming back, players who didn't train. You see what I mean? That's my only thought. But that's with any game coming after an international break, really. Predicted 11 is similar to all the ones that we've had before, apart from Wesley, who I think will rest, and the DYBALA-SOULE duo up front. DYBALA-SOULE behind Ferguson, says Anders. Dybala behind Soule and Ferguson would be better, says Messi. Finally, there will be a stadium vlog this week, says Apurva. Hello, Vincent. Hello, Nicolas. I remember during August you were saying you don't expect Roma in top 4. Do you still believe that? It's very early. I think to answer that question for definite, I want to see what we do in the January session. Because this team right now can't compete on two competitions, on 3 competitions, because the Coppa Italia will also come in. If this team right now, it's not a bad team, but the squad depth, as I said many times, which worries me. Which, again, saying and speaking about squad depth, this is our penultimate week without weekly games, because not next week, but the week after, Europa League starts. So, this is kind of one of the last games in a very long while that we will have without the European fatigue, the midweek fatigue, and in a few weeks, starting maybe in the latter minutes of tomorrow's game, the substitutions and the reserves and the B team and whatever you want to call it need to perform and need to turn up. I'm looking at Baldanzi. I'm looking at Pellegrini when he's back from his injury. I'm looking at Rensch when Wesley doesn't play. Simikas when Angelino doesn't play. Pizzilli, Dovbik. These are players that need to start turning up, because the same team cannot play every single week in every single tournament. The squad depth is not amazing. It's not extremely terrible, but it's not amazing. So again, answering those questions very early, but you get the point. Thoughts on Cristante being the new captain? As long as we win, and as long as the players are happy, and as long as the players don't have tensions regarding who the captain is, I'll be honest with you, I don't give an absolute crap of who the captain is. I really don't. I really, really don't. I seek Pellegrini as the captain because we've always had him as captain, and because, like him or not as a captain, Pellegrini is our captain. So even with his armband, even if Gasperini got his armband out and off him, I still, in my head, Pellegrini is still the captain, with Mancini as a very strong candidate in case Pellegrini leaves. But yeah, as long as it doesn't create tensions amongst the players, I really don't care who it is. Another clean sheet for Villar. Is the game tomorrow or Sunday? It's Sunday lunchtime kickoff. We're playing a lot of games lunchtime, early afternoon in these next few months, which isn't bad. Okay, predicted 11. Oh, by the way, hit the like button. More of you are tuning in, so if you haven't already, please do hit that like. 150 likes would be great. Don't be shy, don't be timid. Hit that thumbs up. It would be great. If you're buzzing, I meant. If you're buzzing for Sunday's game, for Sunday's vlog, back at the stadium, let's do this. Predicted 11 is this. Defense. Yeah, I mean, that's the defense which played 90 minutes in both the Bologna and the Pisa game. I think they will play again. It's been solid. It's kept 2 clean sheets. You don't change a defense that works. That's the number one rule in football. You don't change a formation that wins, let alone a defense that works. 4 in the middle. Starting with Angelino. Angelino, in my opinion, starts because he's stayed in Rome. Tsimikas came back from the international break. However, I would be careful with people who say that Tsimikas is in Rome to be Angelino's replacement. I would be skeptical when saying that because I don't agree. Angelino, if there's one player that hasn't been amazing compared to what we have and know of him and know his abilities in these first months, even pre-season counting, with Gasperini, I would actually argue it's Angelino. I said this at the very beginning when Angelino was close to moving to Saudi for quite a lot of money. I said, for that amount of money, I would sell him because he is not a fullback that suits the way Gasperini wants to play. Because Gasperini wants a horse. Angelino ain't a horse. Angelino is a prince's horse. He's precise, he's technical, but he isn't somebody with lungs who starts running and adds intensity shifts. Which is why I think out of all the players, he's probably been the one that, as of now, I would have expected more compared to what he did last season. He hasn't played bad. He just hasn't been the same player. So I would be careful with people who say that Tsimikas, we signed Tsimikas to give Angelino a rest. I don't agree. I actually think, not immediately, but in a bit, with training sessions and minutes in games and everything, I actually see Tsimikas starting ahead of Angelino because I think Tsimikas suits the way Gasp wants to play way more than Angelino. That doesn't mean that Angelino's terrible. It's a matter of suiting. So I think Angelino starts this, but in the long term, I would not be surprised if Tsimikas becomes number 1 and Angelino drops back to 2. In the middle, Manu and Cristante. Again, I think Cristante as of now starts ahead of El Anaoui, also considering the international break. El Anaoui back from Morocco. Cristante was there, trained in Rome, didn't get a call up for Italy. So I think both of them start. Wesley, I think, rests because he had a little knee problem with Brazil. Wrench starts. And up front, I'm very curious about this trio. Exceptionally curious to see them play together. You know, I am not a big fan of Soule and Dybala playing together, but it worked last game. It won us the game against Pisa. So I think Dybala and Soule start together. However, Dybala doesn't have 90 minutes. So Dybala starts this one and then gets subbed off rather than not starting and then gets subbed in. Look, I'll be honest with you. I think Dybala's more efficient in the other way around. Like, I kind of prefer Dybala to come in because I think a fresh Dybala against defenses which are fatigued and tired at the end of a game can absolutely kill them. So I actually think, and I prefer Dybala getting subbed in rather than starting, especially if he doesn't have 90 minutes. But I really think Dybala wants to start, and I think he will start because El Shaarawy hasn't been perfect in these first games, and I'm not sure how much Gasperini still wants to start him in a game that we must win to prepare for the derby next weekend, and then for the Europa League introduction in France against Nice the following week. So guys, that is my match preview. Let me read a few comments. Sorry guys, I got distracted. A friend is calling. Dybala to cook. What do you think? Well, Dybala always cooks. So yeah, I'm so thirsty today. I ate a massive piece of prosciutto, and oh god, I've only been drinking this afternoon. What if Pizzilli plays left wing? Nah. Give us some betting suggestions for the match. Betting suggestions for this game is exact results, either 2-0 2-1 or 3-0 3-1. I think we're going to score more than one, but I'm going to tend more with a 2-0 exact score. I also see Ferguson scoring tomorrow. I see Ferguson scoring and Soulé doing something, either an assist or another goal. This is Soulé's season. I've repeated this 20 times because this is his season and he performs better away, and these are the games to crack the code at home as well. In the pitch, they should all be captains, says Ines. Hi Hayden, how are you doing? Compared to last season, we have a better squad, says Messi. Man, this match can't come soon enough. I need a distraction from politics. It's been a crazy week regarding that. We're not going to get political on the channel. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, good. Right, sorry guys. They just released the information for the Nice tickets in the Europa League. Let me just copy this down. Let me just save this on the calendar because I need to get the tickets because I have everything booked for Nice. Flight and Flixbus. I just need the tickets and I can't miss this. Okay. Nice tickets. Okay. Perfect. Right. Possible if Dybala plays on the right and Soulé on the left? No. If both of them start, Soulé needs to be the one who sticks in his position. Because Dybala also has better years of experience, he is more experienced to play in positions which don't necessarily suit his strong foot. Soulé, right? You know what the issue with Soulé and changing his position a lot right now is that he's finding his space so well that if you start putting him in different positions, he's gonna get confused again. Soulé's young, guys. Soulé's a little kid compared to a lot of the players around him. So if you confuse children a lot, this is probably not a great analogy. I'm not calling Soulé a child. I'm just giving you a age scenario here. He's not experienced as Dybala, so if you start changing him a lot, now that he is finding his space, finding his rhythms, finding his goals, and he's starting to make a difference, you're gonna regret it. So if both of them play together, which I think will be the case on Sunday, Dybala always needs to be the one that plays in the position he doesn't want to play in. Because he's like the father of the two. So he needs to be the one. Cotto crudo tutta la vita. Crudo tutta la vita. Il prosciutto cotto è per I bambini piccoli. Ho sempre avuto questa immagine nella mia testa. I think Dybala is better to start with Ferguson as Dybala provides chances to Dovbyk and he wastes it all. Yeah, Dybala and Ferguson starts, but Soulé also starts next to them. Right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow for Gasperini's press conference reaction. Hit the like. 150 likes would be great. Please do hit the like button. Bring your friends and families along. Season has started, but my season starts on Sunday. I'm so excited. It's going to be a big one. A lot of away games, a lot of European away games. Fingers crossed, Nice in a few weeks, in 10 days happens, because everything is booked. Tickets are missing, but we're going to get them. And yeah, if you're ready, buckle up. It's going to be a big weekend, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the press conference reaction. Love you all, and hit the like button. Simo out.